on! Sunderland have got themselves to Wembley in the most dramatic of fashions. And before we get into it, do us a favour. I asked you this in the opening 10 seconds of the review to the first leg. I asked you guys, if you're a Sunderland fan, if you're buzzing, hit the like button. It takes 1 second. It's totally free. And you passed 600 likes, which might not sound too much, but on this channel, that was ridiculous. That's like 5 times more than what we usually get. Can we beat 600? Can we give it a go? It's a tall order. It's a tall ask, but God loves a tryer, doesn't he? But yeah, in the 122nd minute, this man here leaps like a salmon. He folds himself up like a deck chair and somehow manages to fashion a header that bullets in off the underside of the crossbar. It defied the laws of physics, but I do not give a shit, as you can tell. And Sunderland are going to Wembley. I will say off the bat as well, fair play to Coventry. You could argue that we maybe didn't deserve it over the course of 2 legs, or at least they attempted to play a certain brand of football that might be deemed to be better than the way we played. But I think just defensively, we approached these games perfectly, and it wasn't easy to watch. I'm not going to sit here and say it was amazing to view. It wasn't, but who cares? Who gives a shit? But yeah, again, apologies I didn't make a video last night. I just wanted to celebrate it. I did actually attempt to make a video. I woke up this morning and thought, let's see if I can redeem myself here. Let's see if I can scramble some footage together from last night. And it was unwatchable. It was absolutely unwatchable. I was just an emotional mess. And it looked like I was attending a funeral as opposed to celebrating a Sunderland playoff win. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but this isn't going to be a proper review, this. Again, I'm going to be a bumbling mess. You know what I'm like. If you've watched me for years, you know what I'm like. When I'm overly excited, I can't get my words together and I can't give you a proper review. But I hope you enjoy it regardless. You can just revel and bask in the win with me. It hasn't been done yet. It's not over yet, of course. But whatever happens now, I swear, win, lose, draw, whatever, at Wembley, I am so unbelievably proud of this club and the team, of course. I was saying online yesterday in the build-up to the game, the club, in all fairness to them, as much as I knock them sometimes and give them shit and point out the flaws, which I think you have to at times, they did everything humanly possible in their power to get everyone up for this game. Not that we needed it anyway, but my God, they went all out. The atmosphere outside the ground with all the flares and obviously the bus coming in to the ground, and it was just a sea of red and white. We just made it one hell of an atmosphere. Of course, you had the likes of Ahmad, Defoe there as well, and then what I didn't expect as well, they brought out, of course, a legend, Jim Montgomery, onto the pitch just before the game, and I just thought they couldn't have done anything more. And the display, which was absolutely incredible. It really was. Again, I'm just gushing over it in a minute. I'm just basking in it as I say it. They just put so much into it. So I just thought, we have to win this now. We have to win this now. And that atmosphere, to be fair, I'll say for the opening 20-25 minutes, I think it really just carried us. It gave the lads the extra 10-15%, which I know doesn't sound like a massive amount, but you could see it in them with every tackle, every 50-50. It was just met with that roar that I know and love, and I just haven't heard it like that in years. Of course, I've supported Sunderland for nearly 30 years, and I've seen the Stadium Lighted at its best, and believe me, I've seen it at its worst. And at one point I was planning to make the video if we didn't win the game yesterday, and I was just going to say, particularly to the young fans, stick with him. You're going to get hurt more times than not. But those are the moments you do need to revel and bask in, and those are the words I'm going to keep on using because you do. The atmosphere was just electric, and I was just so proud of being a Sunderland fan, which I always am. But that just really put the cherry on the icing on top of the cake. But yeah, so we're getting into it. We played 4-4-2. We played an unchanged lineup against Coventry, and like I said, the opening sort of 15-20 minutes, it was just carrying us. It gave us that extra sort of 10%. And we managed to fashion out one chance through my ender. But other than that, it was very, very same with what we saw in the first leg, when it was largely be defensive, be compact, allow them to sit in front of us, and they're going to have to come at us if they want to make something happen, which they had to do anyway, obviously, with us winning the first leg. And we just defended so well. And one thing which is going off on a bit of a tangent, but as you know me, I like to go off on tangents. And this isn't necessarily negative, by the way. It's just something that did stick with me. And again, I did mention it online last night. After the first leg, of course, after we won the first leg, there was an interview post-match with Luke O'Nien. Now, I think he was getting asked about the way that we played, how defensive we were and what have you. Now, Luke said that's the way we've played all season and that's why we finished where we did. Now, that just isn't true, and it kind of semi-concerned me at the time because I thought, is that really what we're buying into? Is this going to be the Sunderland we see from now on from the future, just sitting back and then maybe getting 1 or 2 counters throughout the whole game? Because that just isn't the way we played, because the first half of the season we were largely a possession-based side. Yes, we did play, to a degree, a counter-attacking style of football, but at every possible opportunity, regardless of who we come up against, now you need to adjust tactics and systems depending on who you're up against, but largely we would at least attempt to control the ball, particularly at home. And what we've seen is a very big change in the way that we've played in terms of being compact, which is very good to see, but sometimes, as I say, it isn't the easiest on the eye. But yeah, that was just something that did kind of stick with me, and I just thought I'd put that out there. What, do you agree with me or not? Not saying that it was always fluid, fast, beautiful football, but there was a large portion at the beginning of the season, like I said, the first 3 months or so, where we were very much possession-based on the front foot, whereas we've kind of done the absolute opposite now. But yeah, we defended for our lives. They just threw everything at us in terms of just chucking balls in the box. We forced them into route one football, which largely didn't affect us. And that man here, that man was just an absolute titan yet again at the back. It really is just... It's like it was scripted. You know, we've been using the slogan till the end throughout this playoff campaign so far, and to do it in the 122nd minute was amazing. But yeah, managed to see out. Second half, again, it was a lot of pressure from then in terms of pumping balls into the box. We did manage to gain possession at times, of course, but it was largely very, very defensive. But I think when it was sort of 20 minutes left, maybe even more, you could see that both sides were just absolutely shattered. It was almost like we had just... At times, it felt like the game just came to a halt because both teams were shattered and they was allowing each other a break because of how shattered they were. And I was just screaming for a change. We needed Mundell earlier for me, just to give us a bit of energy, to drag us up the pitch because players were tiring, the legs were going, and understandably so. It's the atmosphere can get you, and it was one of those games anyway. We have to defend so much. You need to be ready to go forward, and we didn't have the legs. And we ended up conceding, and it was... the one sort of lapse of concentration. It was a good goal for them, I guess, of course. They had to work hard for it, and they got there first. They got to the end of the ball and put it in the back of the net, which obviously saw us to extra time. And I genuinely thought, I can't see us scoring. I could not see us scoring. I'm sure you could agree with us. Could not see us scoring. Extra time, it felt a little bit flat. We're really forcing it, as were both sides. But to get the corner... and that man, as I say, defying the laws of physics. I've watched that goal more times than I care to admit since it went in. And each time I get more and more confused as to how the hell he folded himself up like that and fashioned a header. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go for a header like that and you're trying to fashion a header whilst you put yourself in that weird, awkward position, it just bounces off you. And it didn't. It went into the back of the net. But yeah, I'm just so happy and so proud of the lads. And you know, fair play to Coventry, fair play to them. They played their game, and on another day, they could have easily won that game over the course of 2 legs, but they didn't. And we will be meeting Sheffield United at Wembley, and like I said, win, lose or draw, whatever the result, I'm very, very proud. But I hope we do go to Sheffield United and of course get the result for one. But don't be shying away. Don't go within yourselves, express yourselves, enjoy the occasion, and give us the best possible opportunity. I think we probably will see the exact lineups that we have seen, the exact system we've seen over the course of these 2 legs. I would like to see the 4-2-3-1 with Lafay in the middle and Mundell on the left. But I think now that we've seen the way we can play and the way Sheffield United can play as well, I think you might try and go compact and defensive and try and get him on the break with Eastor, on that big Wembley pitch with Eastor, and mind to try to stretch him over the top and getting him behind, which we know we can do, and we did do it against them. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see a 4-4-2. But either way, that's for another video altogether. I know this has been a ramble. I've been repeating myself over and over again, but I'm very emotional. Sorry, for Jesus Christ, my throat's gone as well. I'm very emotional. Like, the second that full-time whistle went, in the midst of me jumping around and celebrating like a little girl, I got a phone call from my granddad. He's probably watching this. My granddad Albert, I love you very much. He rang us bang on full time, and it went from ecstatic, electric, buzzing to really emotional. I'm man enough to admit I was quite close to tears, you know, hearing his voice after the game, and Yeah, so it was just a very emotional occasion. Just seeing the club at its best, not just because of the result, but seeing the club at its best was just a joy to behold. It really was. But let's get behind the lads again. One final push till the end at Wembley against Sheffield United. I'll leave you there. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Take care, stay jammy. Away the lads!